What's up guys, this is Chris here, and today we are going to be talking about the best guns of 2024. Today I'm going to be going over my favorite guns that we've shot and reviewed on the channel in the past year, and talk about a whole bunch of different guns from a few different categories. That way there's something for everybody. If you're interested in just pistols, we do have a pistol list which we did a few months ago, so if you're interested in the 10 best pistols, go over to that. There'll be a couple on this too, but there'll obviously be a lot more rifles and shotguns and things like that on this list, so make sure to check that one out. Now, before we get into the video, I do want to mention my Patreon supporters. Thank you guys very much. It's because of you that all these videos are possible. If you want to help support the channel, that's the best way to do it. Just go down to the link in the description below. Also in that description is a link to a local shelter in Ames, Iowa. It's the YSS. Those kids could really use your help, so please go down there and donate to those kids. And finally, I want to mention my ex, Honest Outlaw 86. We're doing all kinds of cool stuff over there, from exclusive content and much more. Now, we're going to get right into it with number 11. Yes, there's a number 11. It didn't sound as good on the title to say 11, but number 11 is the Ruger American Gen 2. Now, the Ruger American Gen 2 is a bolt-action rifle that made quite a splash in 2024. Arguably the best budget bolt-action rifle ever made, and certainly one of the best for the year. It comes in many different calibers, including .308, 5.56 and 300 blackout, which mine happens to be chambered in. It comes with a spiral fluted barrel, threading so you can suppress it, a Picatinny rail for optics, and a raised cheek piece, not to mention some pretty cool colors, and a very ergonomic forend. All features in which Gucci bolt-action rifles have had for many years, but is sort of a first on the budget scene, and it is much appreciated. It makes it so much more ergonomic to use. It is a very nice trigger and a pretty good action for the price as well. Coming in at the $300 to $500 mark, depending on where you find it. I would really recommend, if you're interested in a new bolt-action rifle, to check out the Ruger American Gen 2, because it's arguably the best for the money that you can get. In at number 10 is going to be one of my personal favorite guns, the Sig Rattler LT. Also in 300 blackout, but certainly a different philosophy of use and quite a price jump, going from about $400 all the way up to about $2,500. But what you get for it is a gun that's so good, Delta Force uses it. It is a PDW that's been adopted by the United States military and special forces because of its modularity, its reliability, and its use in close quarters. 300 blackout is one of the better calibers for close quarters use. It's also very, very quiet when you suppress it and use it with subsonics. The Rattler itself is a very small gun, a 6-inch barrel with a M-lock rail, a good trigger, and a shortened pistol grip with a folding bracer stock, making it so small and so light. You can put it in a bag, you can put it under your seat, you can store it pretty much anywhere you want. That way it'll be there when you need it, unlike a larger rifle. Overall, it was very reliable in our testing, and certainly a gun I would absolutely recommend if you have the cash. Now, in at number 9, we have a cheaper option, a more affordable PDW for those of you out there that are looking to get the best for your money, the Palmetto State Armory ARV. Now, this thing is super fun, looks arguably just as cool as the Rattler, but it's a lot cheaper. At around $700, you get a blowback operated 9mm pistol caliber carbine with AR controls, MP5 looks, CZ Scorpion mags, and a PDW brace right out of the factory. If you're looking for a 9, what's not to love? It was reliable, it was accurate, it was fast, it was low recoil, it looks sweet as shit, and it uses commonly used and affordable ammunition and magazines. We shot it suppressed, we shot it unsuppressed. It was one of my favorite guns of the year, and if you're interested in an affordable 9mm carbine or just a good old PDW for pretty much anything, it is absolutely excellent, and it'll smoke some raccoons too. In at number 8, we have another Ruger. We have the Ruger 5.56. Well, that's a tough shot.
Those were all hits.
Yeah,
for sure.
I know. Now, the Ruger 5.56 is certainly one of the best 5.56s we've had this year. As far as AR-15s go, the Ruger 5.56 is pretty incredible. It comes with basic features, but it has a very accurate barrel, pretty decent trigger. The gun's gassed really well, and it shot incredibly well in our testing. You can get these guns for around $700. They come with a 6-position stock, standard features, 16-inch barrel, but it can shoot very fast up close, and it can go all the way out to 400 yards super easy.
Hit.
I threw some Wooks furniture on mine to make it look even sicker, and I was really, really happy. One of my favorite range experiences we've had this year. I love ARs, and I love affordable ARs even more. It seemed like back in the old days, you definitely got what you paid for, but nowadays you can pick up a $700 AR-15 and a $3,000 AR-15, and it would take an expert to tell you what the differences are. So overall, I would say the Ruger is certainly a phenomenal entry-level AR-15, and since AR-15s are so versatile from home defense to hunting to anything else you can think of, it had to be on this list, maybe only beaten by one other AR-15 this year. In at number 7, we have the Canik TTI Combat. Out of all of the super guns, a lot of them are going to get an honorable mention. The 9mm comped guns with red dots and slicked out features that came out this year, I would probably say the Canik is the best for the money. The Canik TTI Combat is the cheapest way you can get into a John Wick gun. It has really killer Cerakote. It has a comp that I think works really well. It has tons of red dot mounts in the box. It comes with a magwell, great texturing, and one of the best triggers ever made for a polymer frame striker fired gun. It's quick though. That doesn't suck. And literally 2 days ago, I saw it at a big box store for $900. For $900, you can get 95% of the performance of something like a Staccato XC or an Aramis. The only thing you don't get is really the recoil control, but you get pretty close, and an experienced shooter can outshoot those guys with the Canik TTI Combat, which is really saying something. Certainly one of the better guns and one of my favorite guns that we've shot this year for a plethora of reasons. It's light enough to carry, it's reliable enough to use for home defense, it's fast enough to shoot in competition, and flex on the Instagram, which, you know, you got to do every once in a while. On top of that, the gun is absolutely beautiful, and it comes with everything you need, including magazines and the plates out of the box. What's not to love? In at number 6, we have another bougie race gun, the JP5 Pistol. Now, this is a gun that I personally love, that I think a lot of you liked as well, because it handles all the bases for home defense, but it does it so fast and so accurate and so smooth. The JP5 is the fastest and the most accurate pistol caliber carbine ever made. If you look at the PCC Nationals, they're all over the place. If you look at all the super shooters that shoot as fast as they can, they get a JP5 or they're paid to shoot something else. The JP5 is a roller delayed AR9, mixing all the best features of the MP5 and all the best features of the AR-15 in one beautiful concoction that's more fun to shoot than any AR platform I've ever shot. You can shoot subsonics through it, suppressed, and it's extremely quiet. You can shoot out to 300 yards really easy. The barrels are incredibly accurate, and the triggers are phenomenal. JP is known in the competition world for being one of, if not the best rifle maker, and they really showed off with their PCC. The trigger is as good as any Geisley or Terran Tactical I've ever had. All the features are exactly the way you want it when you order it, and you can get all kinds of different barrel lengths. My personal one is a 10-inch because I really like the idea of having the most amount of velocity with the most amount of maneuverability, so I get the most out of the 9mm round, and I'm still 6 inches short of that full rifle, so I can move around structures and I can throw a suppressor on it and it doesn't feel unwieldy. Overall, one of my personal favorite guns. I love it so much I NFA'd the guy, so you know how much I like it. In at number 5, we have the Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2.0. The Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2.0 is certainly one of the best concealed carry pistols ever made by a man. It's unbelievably light, unbelievably small, still reliable and shootable, and it packs the smallest, but still an effective caliber for self-defense. It has the 380 ACP, which I would consider to be on the very low end for civilian use for self-defense, but still certainly acceptable, and it certainly does that 12 inches of penetration and ballistic gel, which everybody's looking for. Now, I am a huge fan of the Bodyguard because of the price, because of the shootability, and I literally can't believe they made a gun that small that I can shoot that accurately and that fast with.
There you go.
Got one. The gun comes out at around $400 to $500. It has the HD sights, a great trigger, which is a first for 380s, and really good texture as well. If you're in the market for a 380 or even a small handgun to concealed carry, like if you're looking for a pocket gun or a running gun or going to the gym, or if you just like to be comfortable all day, I feel like the Bodyguard 2.0 is now so far ahead of all the other 380s, it's really the only choice. The Bodyguard 2.0 has been extremely reliable in our testing. We've shot over 500 rounds of different 380 ammunition, some hollow points, and some full metal jacket, and it's all functioned flawlessly, and honestly, I couldn't recommend it enough. Number 4, we have the new X-Star EP9.
Super fun.
Yeah, you're screaming with that thing. The X-Star EP9 is one of the better PCCs on the market, especially for the price of around $500. Extremely lightweight, under 4 pounds, which is crazy. Comes braced up with an SBA3 and an M-LOK rail. Has a 5-inch or a 16-inch barrel, depending on which one that you want, and it's pretty good at almost everything. You can use it for an entry-level competition rifle, you can use it for home defense. You can use it for a PDW, and it's small enough to fit in a bag if you get the 5-inch. Has AR controls and can accept AR parts, which is amazing because I put a Geisley trigger in my old one, and it felt a little ridiculous because the trigger's half the price of the gun. Very reliable in our testing and very accurate, and it happens to take Glock mags, which are not only affordable, but easy to get. An affordable gun with affordable magazines, that shoots an affordable caliber, so I think it is a great entry-level gun for almost everybody. On top of that, it's low recoil, and it's easily suppressed, so especially for new shooters, it is a very unintimidating gun that is really fun to shoot, that you can get good at quick. Overall, there's not a whole lot of downsides to the X-Star other than it's kind of hard to get. You have to order one, you don't really see them in stores, but if you're interested, I would certainly recommend them. Number 3, we have the Sig XG Legion. One of the better micro 9s that have come out in a long time, extremely shootable, and sort of the apex of what you can get with the P365. First off, the P365 is one of the best guns ever made, let alone one of the best concealed carry pistols. It also has the fire control unit, so if you don't like anything about the gun, you can literally change everything, including the frame. The XG Legion comes with awesome G10 grips, an aluminum grip, which is long enough to get a hold of, a 17-round magazine, and it comes with Sig's compensator cut right into the slide. Very reliable, very shootable, and it has a phenomenal trigger with a shield RMS cut right from the factory. Cool Cerakote as well, and very, very thin and very light. 17 round capacity with a red dot and a comp that you can carry in your freaking pocket, which is why it tops a lot of my list this year, because it really is one of the most shootable micros that you can possibly get. The width of the gun matters so much when you carry inside the waistband, so having a very thin gun with the capacity and shootability of a Glock 17 is freaking impressive. Add to the fact that it got the Legion treatment, it's got a good trigger, and it has that cool Cerakote, and the slide itself is very slick, and all the controls are easy to use. Man, it's an awesome gun. It's a little bit more expensive than your average P365 at over $1,000, but it's certainly worth it, and if you just have a 365 now, you can eventually buy all the parts online and put it together yourself. In at number 2, we have the best AR-15 of the year. The Smith & Wesson Sport 3. Now, the Smith & Wesson Sport 3 comes with a lot of cool features out of the box, and it has an extremely affordable price of under $700. A 16-inch mid-length gas system is really impressive. It has a 13-inch M-LOK rail. It has a pretty good trigger, and in our testing has been 100% reliable. One of the most affordable AR-15s we've ever had on the channel that has all the features you need right out of the box. Just throw some iron sights on it and a light, and you're going to be very formidable in a home defense situation, and you can throw a scope on it and go out and hunt with it if you need to. Very impressive gun, probably the best of the best as far as affordable AR-15s, and that's why it's number 2. Now, there's a lot of honorable mentions here on this list because there were so many good guns this year. Not a lot of shit guns. I had a problem finding really terrible guns, but I had no shortage of good guns this year, and I think 2024, it was one of the best years of firearms that we've had in a long time. The year started off kind of rough, at SHOT Show, didn't really have a whole lot, but I didn't know that every company was going to introduce a new gun every month. This year, people just dropped them whenever the hell they felt like, and it kept me guessing, and it kept me awful happy too. So here's some honorable mentions for you. First off, we have the PDP Pro X. Fucking love that gun, but it wasn't quite as good as the Canic, and it's a little bit more expensive, so here it is. Also, the Benelli M4 Gen 2 is really cool. The Benelli M4 is probably my favorite shotgun of all time, and the Gen 2 added some features that I really liked, but the price and the fact that it has one of the worst rails I've ever seen, and you have to change the rail right out of the box, I didn't like that as much, so it's an honorable mention, but it's still pretty good. The Kimber 2K11 was pretty cool. The Staccato C was pretty awesome. I really like the Staccato C. Again, sort of price prohibited, and it's sort of basic. If you look at the C versus the C2, it's only a little bit thinner, but still a very cool gun. I also wanted to mention the Alien Limited Optics. That thing's just fun. Cool, the Alien's a great gun, and all the things that I didn't like about it, they fixed with the limited optics version. That being said, let's get right into it with our number one. And this is kind of a cop-out because it didn't even come out in 2024, but I got it in 2024. It's also so expensive, most couldn't afford it, but it's on here anyway. Number one is the Nighthawk Sandhawk. The Nighthawk Sandhawk was definitely my favorite gun I've shot this year. It was the coolest looking gun I've shot this year. I have such a thing for 2011s and 1911s that my bias on these videos shows a lot. And if you guys aren't into this gun, that's fine. However, it might have been the fastest and most accurate gun I've ever shot in my life. It had an amazing trigger. The comp was perfect. The gun returned to zero better than almost any gun I've ever shot besides my Atlas Erebus, and the Sandhawk is $2,000 cheaper than my Atlas Erebus. But the Sandhawk just speaks to me. It has the classic sort of 1911 grip and controls, except it had a double stack magazine, stupid reliable. I think we shot 1,000 rounds in like a week and functioned flawlessly. One of the most accurate guns I've ever shot. 110's never been easy before. And just all around amazing. It's so good, as a matter of fact, that I'm ordering one, and that's saying a lot considering the gun starts off at like $5,000. But it's so good that I have to have it. I've been thinking about it all year, and it had to be number one for me. This is my list after all. But don't get me wrong, there was tons of other guns on this list, and if you're not looking for a super bougie 2011, there was 10 other guns on this list that'll fit your needs just fine. If you hate the Sandhawk, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll disagree with you. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Please support Oklahoma shelters, and remember to recycle. I'll check you later.